You guys saw what happened in my freshman season. It was a tough and devastating off season, but the little time I had to enjoy to myself there, I couldn't find a better place than New York City, where my grandparents are actually staying. So when I got the tickets to fly down here, they had a little apartment for me set up, and in front of the apartment was this red car standing there by itself for me. So I was blown away that this was the gift that my parents, should I say my grandparents, have saved up for. So I'm gonna show you guys the apartment that I stay every time I fly down here to New York City. And this is sort of my living room. I got one comfortable couch for two people right there. I don't really get a lot of visitors because this is where I spend most of my summertime. Here is my kitchen where I always cook it, like Little B. I'm kidding. That is where I eat, obviously. Here is my bedroom. It's pretty nice, all terrapin colors. I mean, you guys see my jacket as well. So that is pretty much the apartment that I use when I always come down here in New York City. Now, I don't really have an internet. That's one thing that my grandparents are slacking at. I mean, I got this beautiful car right here, a nice little apartment, but no internet. So, good thing New York City has internet cafes, That is what I've been doing all summer long. So I'm going to be headed to the internet cafe. My sophomore season is getting ready to kick off. So I have to check my emails before I take on the road back to Maryland. And that is exactly what I'm doing here. My phone is ringing. It's probably my teammates, asking where I'm at, because we got a huge road ahead of us as we prepare for my sophomore season. But here I am. It's probably one of my favorite internet cafes, actually. But the guy at the register, man, this guy is a pain in the ass. Every time I go in there, gives us rude comment. Look at him. It's obvious this guy isn't happy with his job, but, I reserve my seat. There's nobody really at this place. It's pretty dry, but let's check out the website and see what is going on. So let me click on the web here. And it's not your typical Google. This is iFind, whatever. And here is Liberty City's front page. They have last year's bowl season here. And again, this brings back nightmares. You guys saw what happened late in the game, in overtime. We were down by a touchdown. And you guys see me running the screenplay here. I individually had a good game. My teammates actually had a good game. And it all came down to this last play right here. All we had to do was get a completion into the end zone. But my quarterback threw an interception. And that was how my freshman season ended. I mean, this was on SportsCenter. Every single day that I woke up, my teammates were talking about it. And it might seem funny to the media. It might seem, funny to our, rival teams. But to us, we watched this play over and over, and we are pretty much going to be using this as a motivation. It hurt at first, but then later on, I was like, hey, I had a good freshman season. I won the Heisman, and I still have 3 more years left. So we're going to use that as motivation and try to play in a better bowl game my sophomore season. We are shooting for the national championship, but if we actually don't make it, but we actually get into like Rose Bowl or any other big bowl game, I'm going to be pretty content. But like I said, I'm shooting for the Heisman and shooting for the national championship in my sophomore season. So we're back here on the field practicing early on in the morning with my teammates. But this was pretty much the last practice that I will be having with a couple of them. You see I'm breaking a couple ankles right there as I am pushed out of bounds. But my leading tackler on defense, you guys saw that number 9 dude all season long on the sideline whenever we were on offense. This guy right here who pretty much destroys me has already declared to the NFL draft. He got drafted in the 2nd round, and he will not be part of our team. So a lot of missing members from last year's squad as we prepare for week number 1. We had UConn week number 1 last season, and that is the same exact team that we are kicking sophomore season with. And it was a struggle in the first quarter, but here we are in the second quarter. I thought for sure this one was going to be taken to the end zone, but that tells you a lot of the work that is still ahead of me as far as my speed and acceleration goes. So we are still into the second quarter. We are finally approaching their end zone. 3rd and 1 here. Quarterback is going to hand it off, and I was stuck right behind the offensive line right there, but I was still able to get a first down. And the quarterback is going to run a screen play right here, and that eliminates our chances from getting a field goal. So we go into the 4th quarter with 5 minutes remaining, and this is when we finally was able to do something. Although you see me right there not getting anything to go down, I get a reception right here, and then the quarterback is going to step back one more time, and he ignores my call, but he's going to take this one on his feet and get a first down. And then what does he do here again? Before he hikes the ball, I'm going to be calling for the ball once again. I was fairly open, but he decides to take off, and he gets popped. But he was still able to get back on his feet, and the quarterback is stepping up clutch here, and then he finds me wide open as I finally take it to the end zone and get a touchdown. So it was 7-7, but then our defense gives up a late touchdown, so it's 14-7, and we are trailing once again, but the quarterback is going to pass it to me right here, and I am going to be short of a touchdown. So 1st and goal, what will happen here? The quarterback is going to hike the ball. I am going to call for the ball, and he takes off once again. And this game is more than likely headed to overtime, and that is exactly what happened. So UConn settles for a field goal, so all we have to do here to keep the overtime going is either score a field goal, or we could take a touchdown and go home with a week 1 victory. So the first pass was an incompletion, but we're not worried, we're in a field goal range. We got a lot of time, but the funny thing is there's actually no clock. So we have actually all the time in the world. So the quarterback is going to step back here, and once again, the middle of the field was wide open. The secondary was obviously confused. The linebackers double teamed on the wrong side, and that is how we get a victory here in week number 1, and it doesn't get any better than this. A perfect way to start off the season. We started out slow, but then we were able to take the game to overtime and get a victory. So I see a rarity package 2 right here, level 2, Doozer Bruisers, and I decided to buy that one, and then I'm going to get a sprint champion to increase my acceleration and speed, and this will pretty much leave me with about 1,900 points, so that is not bad at all. So we're going to simulate into week number 2, and in week number 2 we are going to be playing Temple. I believe we played Temple last year as well, so I don't know what's going on with my schedule, but that is week number 2, and that will be in next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It's your boy AntoDaBoss here, and I am signing out.